Daddy, it's a smoky morning. Ooh, man, that's a... Oh. Now, that is a wake up. Yeehaw! Hey, good morning. It's time for Tuesday, the Revolution in the Morning show. Hey, come on down and join us. I'm going to throw some whispers of tyranny out here on the while we wait. How's that sound? Window. Well, that is weird. Bump, ba-dum, bump. Okay. So much for that idea. I don't know why it wouldn't allow me to share Winamp, huh? Well, that's strange. Well, we're going to play it and then get it going, and then we'll see, okay? Hey, good morning, Johnny. God bless you, brother.
The shadows creeping closer, the banners hanging low, a silent war of whispers that nobody's supposed to know. Underneath the surface, they pull the strings.
That is strange.
A puppet show of promises fading out of sight.
Well, maybe if we change up here a minute, we can get it to show the... We're almost ready to...
Breaking spirit, breaking soul. For the willing, they will steal it. Take control, take control.
Damn.
Mind and pockets empty, left with nothing to behold. They're enslaved by ego.
Well, we'll cancel that out. Let me get over here and check Rev Radio. See what we got bumper left wise. I don't know how well you can hear that in the background. That's well, maybe if I do it like that. That's what I think it is. Oh, really? Shocked. Why should we be shocked? Israel's dropping bombs on everybody. There we go. I think we got what I was looking for.
And it's time to fight. Society subservient.
There we go. Waiting on Rev Radio. Got about 45 seconds.
But we're stronger than their tyranny. Together we will cope. Oh, the deep state's dirty deeds, we won't let them pass us by.
Oh, God.
Time to rise and stand united. Let our voices touch the sky. They rape, rob, and pillage. Breaking spirit, breaking soul. For the willing, they will steal it. Take control, take control. The mind and pockets empty, left with nothing to behold. They're enslaved by ego, and it's time to be bold.
I'd get a drink. Welcome, Rev Radio. Woo.
Can you see behind the curtain? Can you break the chains of thought? Awake and fight, it's our time. Stay on guard, stay on guard. They rape, rob, and pillage, breaking spirit, breaking soul. For the willing, they will steal it. Take control, take control. The mind and pockets empty, left with nothing to behold. They're enslaved by ego.
All right, welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. This is the Revolution in the Morning Show, live from Franklin County, Virginia. I'm your host, Mitchell Bupp. Thanks for coming down and joining us on Revolution Radio. Woo, let's see. We got Rumble, Facebook. All right, and by the way, if you didn't know, the Trump Assassination Files Facebook page has been unbanned. We got off their double secret probation, but you can always go over there to, let's see, Instagram and X and other places to catch all the clips that we're putting out from the shows. So. Yeah, it is, the shit is hitting the dumbass fan, and the Mossad are in control of Washington, D.C. Surprise? Are we supposed to be surprised? I didn't think so. I thought everybody knew that, that AIPAC essentially, had that shekel nose ring in our politicians, man. It is just plain fucking nuts. As Donald Trump has his blockade going on right now, and the first test of the Donald Trump blockade of Iran supporters is going to happen, shortly, or may have already happened, okay? If you're not aware, Donald Trump said, look, we're only going to allow, our NATO friends and all these other people to pass here, but we sent them all to the USA to get oil and gas and liquefied natural gas, and, while the prices are, through the roof, we're gonna offload those half a billion gallons of oil that we stole from all those ships that we seized around the world. Yeah. Anyway, Donald Trump has said, look, Iran is blockaded. They cannot send any ships or anybody or anything through. That said, the Chinese have looked at Donald Trump and said, "Hold my beer." Yeah, hold my beer. Or I guess they're Chinese. Maybe they said, "Hold my chopsticks." The Chinese are sending one of their sanctioned Chinese tankers through the Hormuz Straits this morning, okay? The U.S. sanctioned tanker signaling Chinese ownerships is testing the blockade with the Hormuz Strait crossing, okay? Will Trump go taco again? Will Trump go taco the same way he did on the blockade of Cuba? Yeah, the blockade of Cuba. Let's starve people to death. That ought to make us heroes in the world. Yeah. So, the Chinese are now, and Russians are now working to fund the military of Iran, or bring in more advanced weapons. Essentially the same thing that the United States and NATO did in Ukraine, okay? It's only a matter of time before Cuba does get to be in the hot seat again. maybe sooner than later, because Trump has to have a win. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is he's like the 3-year-old fucking child that doesn't get his way when it comes to Iran. He wants Iran to sing Uncle Donnie and dance to any tune that they put out, literally. And Iran has said no, and no, we're not going to do that. Then Donald Trump says, I don't understand. There are people with heart, Donald. Maybe their heart's in the wrong place, but yours is too. Okay, yours is with the king of the shekels, okay? But anyway, this all this shit that is going down in the Middle East is expanding and getting bigger, okay? It's really strange. I really have to ask, if ISIS is such a terrorist fucking group that hates everybody, why haven't they attacked anybody Jewish? I mean, it's just a curious question that through all the rants and the ravings about ISIS and Hezbollah and Hamas and all this other stuff, why hasn't ISIS, attacked Israel? In fact, the question should be, why did ISIS, when its fighters were wounded in battle in Syria fighting Assad's forces, they came to Israel for medical treatment and rest and relaxation to recuperate from their wounds so they could get back into the war? Listen, the Middle East, that's wholly uncivilized on both sides. It's unfucking real, okay? As somebody said this morning about Israel dropping bombs on Syria, or a bomb. People are going to have to wake up and realize that and I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for what I'm getting ready to say, okay? But I don't parse words, and the word I'm getting ready to use is banned from Revolution Radio. So I may just turn your microphone off or not. I don't know. But the truth is that Israelis are rabid fascists that treat everybody else as if they're a lower human being. It really is. It really is this human domination thing with Israelis and Jews in general, from what I've seen. Okay. Maybe now. Here's the truth. The truth is, American Jews are different. All right. American Jews are different than Israelis that are on the ground. That believe they have the right to go in and steal anybody's house they want with a piece of paper or with a bunch of soldiers behind them. Okay? Doesn't matter if the guys and the people have lived there for decades or 100 years or 150 years. The Israelis run them off the fucking ground. Okay? Now, somewhere along the line, you have to call a spade, okay? Somewhere along the line, Donald Trump is going to have to look at the totality of the apartheid-minded Israeli Jews, or Zionist Jews, or just plain fucking bastard scum. Now listen, the truth is they're just a reflection of what is on the Muslim side in those uncivilized, retarded cultures, okay? I don't even think they're retarded. Really, I don't think they're retarded, because that would indicate that they became smart and then they became dumb later. I mean, I really just think that they're all just tarded, okay? In a comical sense. It's fucking disgusting, okay? Anybody that expects any kind of peaceful anything about out of anything in the Middle East, um, you're wishing in one hand and you're shitting in the other, okay? That's the truth. And that's what Donald Trump has essentially uncorked across the Middle East, all right? If I was Iran, the only course I have now is to develop nuclear weapons. And while Donald Trump says you have nothing, why aren't you surrendering? You have nothing. Hmm. I, Donald, they have a whole lot that you don't even fucking realize. Hey, there's this Donald Trump and your retarded generals, okay? Retarded motherfucking generals, okay? I wanted to ask you, is there a thing? There's a thing called geography, okay? There's always been this thing about troops on the ground to control the ground. The Straits of Hormuz is like this, but it's a big damn Gulf. You and your generals are wholly fucking retarded because you were listening to the Mossad and like the school that got bombed by the U.S. cruise missile. Remember, those coordinates had to be punched in exactly. Everybody in the fucking world knows that the United States did not come up with that fucking target list that blew up that school of little children. Everybody in the world should know and understand that it was Israel, the Israeli military, and the AI, what is it called? Claude is what they use. But it wasn't an accident. These targeting things are not accidents. Yeah, Israel believes in murdering little children. Period. End of story. You can go across the internet and you can find hundreds of fucking videos, and they're not staged. There's no different than the fucking ISIS scumbags, the radical Islam that want to literally rag and bag and tag your fucking daughter. And then marry her off for a fucking couple goats. Hey, and we're in the West, man. You might even be able to buy an Islamic bride for a couple USB drives today. I mean, really, did that Muslim motherfucker down there in Plano, Texas, did he? Is that what he got? Did he get a whole PC, or did he get a tablet? When that guy traded his daughter. I mean, I guess in these markets, you might get a whole house, for a daughter. I mean, damn. That's why I said the other day, all these motherfuckers, I don't give a shit if they're fucking Jewish or Muslim. They're all cheating and robbing the fucking system, playing bigamists and child rapists, okay? And they should, well, you got box A, box B, box C. Box A is the easy route. Get the fuck out, never look back, and pray we don't decide to come after you later. B, go to prison forever, never see the light of fucking day. And of course, the box C is a self-delete box. Okay, I mean, maybe this is something that the U.S. legal system should be doing. In fucking Canada, they I call it murdered, over 10,000 fucking people last year through assisted suicide. In fact, if you break your ankle, they might say, are you sure you want to live? You got a broke ankle. It might be fucking terminal. There's a woman that needed a lift to get up and down her steps to get to the bathroom and her bedroom and stuff upstairs. Instead of installing a lift on this fucking Canadian woman's house, the great Canadian government decided, well, let's see. Oh, God, you can't get to the second floor. Life is over. God, there's motherfuckers that had never gotten out of the basement. Their life never got started. But hey, why isn't euthanasia? Why isn't that a choice in jury trials today for these murderers? Okay? I'm just asking, like the guy in Charlotte that they say he's too crazy. He's too crazy. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer murdered fucking Asian people and took them home and ate them. He was sane enough to fucking to send to prison. Oh, but he was white. Okay. But shouldn't euthanasia, shouldn't that be a new option? Shouldn't we just get, death penalty aside, we can give the motherfucker 100 years with no chance of parole, or we can give them, euthanasia. Sure, you can get a box and one drift off to Neverland, okay? I don't know what to do to save our society, all right? Because it's each individual person plays a whole role in the human ant farm that we live in today. And if you have thousands and hundreds and then thousands across the nation that literally don't believe in the rule of law, or they, once they get together, they turn into a big ass mob. So yeah. Anyway, still reeling from all of the exposure that has happened. Oh my God. Eric Swalwell. I mean, you don't even hear about Bang Bang. You hear about the women that are so drunk they can't fucking defend themselves, okay? Oh yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Eric Swalwell, of course, if I didn't mention yesterday, has dropped out of the governor's race in California, putting putting essentially a billionaire in the winner's seat, Tom Steyer. The other part of that is that Eric Swalwell will resign from Congress. Yes, there was also another one. Gonzalez exits after, I guess, the pay to play bribery shit. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Ilhan Omar. What's her name? Ileana Presley, or whatever her name is. She came into Congress $18,000 in debt, which isn't that bad, really, in all honesty, in today's world. But she, in less than 5 years, she's like $8 million up. Some of the companies that are there, some of the fraud they're finding is so fucking big that nobody even tries to look anymore. In fact, in California, they are so fucked up. They are so fucked up in California. Is that like a fucking comedic punchline? Okay, they're so fucked up in California they can't even walk to the ocean to fucking take a bath. Okay, man, I guess that's why Tijuana exists. No. Or that the river, San Diego River, whatever it is, comes out of Mexico. Always people that come through it, if they set up a medical site on the other side to give tetanus shots. Yes, that California, where I was told by people that worked on pipelines that said you had to be extremely careful about working in California, in the Southern California, in on pipelines that run through these massive fields and all this other stuff that they grow crops in like 3 times or 4 times a year they have a harvest. Hey, guy said, man, he said, I got so sick. He said, I almost died. I said, what happened? He said, pesticides in the dust. I said, shit. Meanwhile, in modern day California, Eric Swalwell has said, bye bye. And California government is preparing to pass. These people are just fucking retarded. Okay, I'm sorry, they're just fucking retarded. That's what I'll say. All right, they're gonna get ready to pass the Nick Shirley Act in California. In other words, you cannot expose fraud in California. I mean, I knew California was fucked up, okay? But Jiminy effing Christmas, right? I mean, you gotta have an act, a Nick Shirley Act, really, in California. California lawmakers introduced the Stop Nick Shirley Act. I mean, hey, maybe the federal government should wean California off of, well, every fucking dollar. It would appear that Nick Shirley's expose on the medical subsidies fraud in California, largely perpetrated by, well, immigrants. Isn't that same way? You know, immigrants or first generation retarded immigrants. Take your pick. I mean, anyway, so I guess it was more devastating than anybody thought. Anybody could have imagined. After making waves in Minneapolis, Nick Shirley went to San Francisco and California, and they found fraud after fraud after fraud. Millions of people vote with no ID, month-long elections, inaccurate voter rolls, dead people caught voting. How does that work? Even a dog successfully registered to vote and in California. Okay. So yeah. So California is trying to pass a bill that would criminalize investigative journalism with misdemeanors, $10,000 fines, imprisonment, and content takedown orders. This is Nick Shirley saying the proposed bill is titled AB 2624. Was made after I exposed mass fraud by immigrant groups in America. I mean, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Yeah, what? It's illegal to expose fraud, huh? Prohibit anyone from knowingly posting, displaying, disclosing, or distributing on the internet or social media personal information or images of these individuals with specific intent to incite violence, threaten, harm. That's already a crime, dumb fuck. Banning, soliciting, selling, trading such information, images with harmful intent. Look, anything with harmful intent is already covered. Confidentiality doesn't extend into the public arena, and it will not shield home addresses in public records. And this is what they want. They want to shield home addresses and allows affected individuals to seek removal of threatening content. Yeah. I mean, really. This is this is another reason why the federal fucking government does not belong in healthcare. I guarantee you, if insurance companies, if the insurance companies were running that shit and they were getting ripped off, if they weren't getting 50% of the action of the extra action, somebody's asses are going down. But it's a standard operating criminal procedures today. Okay. A federal judge has dismissed Trump's defamation suit against the Wall Street Journal over the Epstein birthday letter report. District Judge Darren Gale said Trump could file an amended version of the lawsuit by April 27th. No word if he's gonna. Remember, Donald Trump allegedly, made a figure of a woman and put it on a birthday card. Basically a set of tits with a vagina at the bottom, where I guess how his name looks. Yeah, I guess that's one in the bush for Don, huh? But meanwhile, we need put some motherfuckers in prison. That's right, not Donald Trump yet, but he can go if he wants. The Biden FDA knew that the COVID vaccine stroke risk and kept the American people in the dark. We don't recall, remember horsey paste and ivermectin, doesn't carry a stroke risk, but evidently COVID-19 did. In fact, that's why those fuck faces over at YouTube banned me. They had banned me for 2 years because I spoke COVID truth, and they just needed COVID propaganda. And yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. But shadow banning and everything else is rampant online. Algorithms will push everything to the bottom and pile all kind of horse shit on top of it. So yeah. But the Biden FDA knew, particularly for senior citizens, that the damning evidence that the CDC and FDA knew under the Biden administration identified a significant stroke risk tied to Pfizer's COVID-19 bivalent booster for seniors, and never breathed a word of it to the public. I think all these motherfuckers should be called out by name, and they should lose their immunity from being a government official. So yeah. February 2023, HHS quietly hired a private contractor, Lucas LLC, to conduct, quote-unquote, a deeper investigation dubbed the Stroke Project. Oh, really? Publicly, officials kept insisting the vaccines were safe. The initial detection of the safety in late 2022. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. 3,000 motherfuckers died within an hour to 4 hours after they got that blessed fucking shot, okay? A stroke risk? My ass. Christ, that's the shit that came down the road. I'm just saying, these motherfuckers treated y'all like guinea pigs. If you said, oh my God, the government says to do it. And I'm like, fuck you, and well, fuck you too. And you know, the worst part of it is the medical system is such a strict hierarchy that, even if it does make a mistake up here, and all the people down to the fucking bottom that they're murdering with the what? When they murdered people in hospitals with respirators and suppressed their fucking already suppressed systems to death. In a normal society, those people would be hung in the fucking streets. They would be ripped apart by mobs of people that are so grief stricken. But we don't live in a real modern society. We live in this affluent, feminized, what would you call it? A pussocracy. I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, it is that everybody is afraid to kind of stand up and or even do anything. They just go along because remember, 50% of society will bend over backwards to kiss the half of 20% of the other part of society just to keep the peace. And it's not about keeping the peace. It's about freedom and equality in America. But this is more evidence that the medical system is failing people. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, it is crazy. Okay. So the ischemic stroke blockage to the brain, it was severely elevated for the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 bivalent booster. In other words, the clot shot, death shot, and the stroke shot all in one. Yeah, I mean, and they just kept it quiet and they kept murdering patients. And if those people are still working at the CDC or the FDA, I want to know why. Really, why? Why the fuck are they? Okay. It's true, and it should be. The Kaiser Family Foundation, the hospital, Kaiser's hospitals, fewer than half of all Americans now trust the CDC and the FDA to operate free from political or special interest influence. Hey, look, if these vaccines were so fucking good and they were so harmless and stuff, why do the manufacturers need immunity? I'm just saying. Oh, they won't have immunity from the mobs when the truth does get here. And they can run away and try to hide in their bunkers, but that's also a bad thing. Okay. What else we got here? YouTube removes pro-Iran TV channel producing anti-Trump videos. The group has denied that it is backed by the Iranian government. I mean, if the CIA can run operations through YouTube and Facebook and everything else, if they can run these propaganda fucking programs, why can't the rest of the world? Everybody should know and understand that all social media tools are have with good intentions. They, people want to connect with family. They want to find like-minded people and friends. But AI, bots, and algorithms have turned that into the brainwashing system, like I talk about Trump gets hit with day in and day out, night and day. Meetings, briefings, and memos. If you look at it, think about your text messages. Think about you going on and seeing what somebody else said. And then your interaction with people. It really is. These are all effective brainwashing tools. Okay. That's why YouTube is removing the pro-Iran channel. Okay. That is why TikTok had to bend over backwards and how should I say it? Divest itself of CCP, military, blah blah blah. Even though that's I mean, you have to be the smartest idiot in the room not to think that the Chinese don't have backdoor operating systems through all of TikTok. And that it is essentially used to push, the Banana Republic America. So understand all of these sources of news and information that people use today are corrupted. They're so wholly corrupted. I mean, they're so wholly retarded that the New York Times, the premier retarded brainwasher, on the East Coast, and I'm sure others would argue that, no, we're the main brainwasher on the East Coast, like the Wall Street Journal or the Washington Post or someplace. But look, these guys are all working for the spooks, which work for the deep state, when the deep state works in cooperation and coordination with who? With the Mossad, with the Rothschild family, with those that are connected in the Davos world. I believe Davos is supposed to be, is it coming to the USA this year? Thought it was. But yeah, always remember everything. Everything that is boosted on YouTube, everything that they're throwing in front of your face. I mean, all the people that I like to watch, I never get recommendations from their fucking channels. Okay, and it's okay, because I have them bookmarked, and I can go to their channel and I can get what they put out, and I don't worry about it, because I already know that living in this matrix of illusion that we live in today, that the masses of asses are all going to consume all that other stuff. Mostly because it is literally put in front of them, and that's what they're fed. If you feed somebody a healthy diet, something like a carnivore diet or something, a younger person, and that makes a lot different than feeding somebody a high carbohydrate starch diet. Okay. One's going to be blimpy boy and one's going to be body boy. Okay? I mean, in all honesty, you are what you eat. Remember, you are what you think. You are what you think, what you watch, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Does that make any sense? I mean, people so gravitate to, oh my God, I got to watch Rachel the Mad Cow. I got to watch CNN. I got to see what they said about Trump. And I got to watch Fox. And, I'm like, fuck all of them. None of them are unbiased, I guess is the word I want to use, and none of them pull straight punches across the board. Okay, that's just the truth that nobody wants to say. And mind management, I guess, is something that I would call that is going on today. Okay, by people. They have run the Trump derangement syndrome thing for so long that its usable days are coming to an end. But then again, so is Donald Trump. Buried for 7 years. Oh, shocked. Oh, surprised. Right? We'll hear about this tonight again, I'm sure. The House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Evidently, they ain't so fucking intelligent. Okay, has declassified closed door 2019 transcripts from briefs when Intelligence Community Inspector General Michael Atkinson, the documents withheld from the public for over 7 years, reveal critical details about the anonymous whistleblower. You know who that is, right? Eric Ciaramella. Eric Ciaramella, whose complaint about President Trump's phone call with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky triggered Trump's first impeachment. Details that directly contradict a narrative of a neutral, nonpartisan civil servant acting in good faith is completely false. We all know that, okay? We got lard-ass Colonel Vindeman talking to Eric Ciaramella when it was just weeks or months before. Eric Ciaramella, lard-ass Colonel Vindeman, and another guy, I forgot his name. I have to go look it up if I want to know it, because it's, these people these are pieces of fucking dung that should be hanging on a fence line in Gitmo, on the inside of a military prison. Okay? That's where Eric Ciaramella, that's where that fucking lard-ass Colonel Vindeman and these other people should be. Maybe they should be at Fort Leavenworth breaking rocks. I don't know. I think it's whatever it is. It has to be hard labor punishment. Anyway, the revelations come via a investigative reporter, Catherine Herridge, who broke the story on X with direct screenshots of the transcripts and statements from key officials involved in the declassification. The whistleblower was a registered Democrat who disclosed having a prior professional relationship with one of the Democrat presidential candidates for the 2020 election. Of course, it was understood to be Vice President Joe Biden. Given the whistleblower's known Ukraine policy background, anyway, despite this, Inspector General Atkinson told Congress that I did not find the complainant, the whistleblower, was biased. He relied almost entirely exclusively on the whistleblower's own self-disclosure. On the official urgent action disclosure report, the whistleblower did not check the box acknowledging contact. Atkinson confirmed. The whistleblower did not disclose to you that he or she had contact with HIPSI. House Permanent Select Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, before filing the official complaint. Oh, gee, okay. Remember, this is lard ass Colonel Vindeman and Eric Cheramella. I laugh because I got a Eric. Who is Eric Cheramella? I think that was the last time I was out actually doing any kind of signing and protesting, and for some reason the police came. You can't even stand around with a sign that said, who is Eric Cheramella? The police come. Ah, I guess that's because, it was during COVID, and I was at a CVS, or CVS on a sidewalk. Fuck them. They can't do anything. Anyway, so yeah. It is, the truth is that the whistleblower was portrayed in the mainstream media and by Democrat leaders as an impartial career intelligence official. That's like calling Adam Schiff impartial, okay? I'm still waiting for these fucking cocksuckers to throw Adam Schiff out of Congress for leaking classified materials a fucking dozen times, okay? Adam Schiff should be... I better be careful. The Secret Service is going to become asking me some questions. But no, Adam Schiff should be in prison, okay? The Atkinson transcripts actually show that, which have been withheld from the public for far too long, show that that the American people to make their own determinations about their content. It's 7 years. Most motherfuckers, listen, the truth is 30 to 60 days. 30 to 60 days. The world and everybody else has moved on unless it's something so super mega, so super big that it's like OJ running down the fucking highway again. Except this time it's a Gavin Newsom doing a low-speed chase with the LAPD in a fucking white Bronco. That might happen. You never know. I'm just saying. So, yeah. But here's another article. Welcome to the Theater of the Absurd. Charles Hughes Smith of Two Minds blog says the real world no longer matters. What matters is the performance on the stage. Welcome to the Theater of the Absurd, Charles says. In the present era, all the world is a stage and everything is a performance on that stage. Yeah, the Theater of the Absurd, a Hollywood set fabricated of cardboard and plaster, made to look like gold leaf and marble columns, where the contraptions and ropes that do the magic are hidden with behind purple drapery. He says, since the entire point of theatrics is to cloak the decay of the status quo from serving shared interest to a craven scramble of self-enrichment. Charles Hughes Smith says, no expenses spared in the theatrics, for as the gulf between the reality of who's getting richer and who's losing ground, and what the performers claim this is the best of all possible worlds. Yes, this is age of distraction. Certainly we are living in this right now. Because of technology and progress widens, it becomes necessary to pour more resources into performances. Lest the losers catch up on the performance is the con that keeps self-serving status quo from being revealed as an extractive and exploitive arrangement favoring the few. Well, it certainly is a trickle-down chump change. And it does seem that the billions and billions of dollars that government has given or government has gifted industry, has positioned industry to essentially be government. That's just bad view. Anyway, Smith says, as the audience is no longer entranced by mere performance, theatrics must be ramped up to the absurd of of the Iran war, or maybe it's not even just the Iran war. Maybe it's the literally these subjecting the United States to the power that of Israel, and Donald Trump essentially kneeling. I mean, this may sound crazy, and people may not agree with it, but Trump shouldn't be kissing any fucking wall. No American leader should be kissing any fucking wall. They shouldn't be kneeling. They shouldn't be kneeling in an official sense, as we see our president do again and again and again. And we just had this. We just had a meme come out with Donald Trump and I don't know. I guess giving a lecture or something to the Pope and setting the poor poop straight and everything else. And it's like, God. Donald Trump says, I thought it was something else. Does he even know what he's posting? As I said before, Donald Trump is very agitated. He's very angry. Essentially because the two places where he could bring peace that might give him his ego-boosting Nobel Peace Prize will never be peaceful, because the powers that be, whether it is Israel or whether it is the Rothschild banking system and the European Union when it comes to Ukraine, there will not be peace. And Donald Trump has been used. I hope he probably feels like, poor Donald Trump. Do you think he feels like some used condom that was just thrown in the trash bin right now? As Israel has essentially used Donald Trump as a prophylactic to go after, Iran and whoever. So, yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. We're on Break Rev Radio. We'll be back. So, yeah, it's crazy times, isn't it? I mean, really. Maybe that's why Donald Trump looks like he's been rode hard and put away wet, because he has been. It's not popular to say, but damn, I mean, come on, Don, what the fuck? Meanwhile, the golf, I can't really golf much anymore. My shoulders are so fucked up. I used to love the golf. Actually, I just used to beat that living shit out of that white ball. But it's easier to hit the ball long at first than it is try to have a controlled, have your swing perfect and then try to hit a long ball. But anyway, money at the Masters Golf Tournament has soared $7.5 million for the total purse available. The winner, Rory McIlroy, had a 4.5 million for the win. Was it that was? Yeah, 4.5 million for the win. The second, the runner-up got 2.4 million. Even deeper in the field, players made the cut by finishing outside the top 50. Earned at least $55,000. Those who missed the cut but still walked away with a guaranteed 25,000. Hey, that's okay. Hey, I'd get out there and shank a few for 25,000. But yeah, um, it is crazy. I think. Wow, that's okay. Shit happens. I screwed up on my golfing a lot of times. Golf is easy to do. Maybe half 50 to 70% of the time, but there's that 25%, man. I mean, yeah. Virginia Governor Spamberger signed in the law banning ghost guns. Democrats sent Spamberger more than 24 bills after the General Assembly's regular session ended on March 24th. The U.S. Government has already told Spamberger that they are proceeding with lawsuits against the state of Virginia because of some of the gun laws that they have passed, and of course, this homemade racism that was born out of the heart of the Jefferson Davis state. Yes, the heart of the Confederacy. Yeah. So, but I would tell them to be aware, that tyrants in Virginia, if you look at the Virginia State Seal, it's isn't it a person standing on a tyrant? I'm just saying. But yeah, what else we got going on here? The 5 places you don't want to be when society collapses. Shit. Oh man, most people have no idea. They have no idea how bad it will be if society would collapse, if we would lose electric, and there would be no water, no sewage, or anything like that in the big cities. Okay, that's all it would really take. I mean, just shut the electric off. And people would be, I should say it, people would be freaking out. You think fuel shortages alone are enough to cause people to panic. And, there's several places in the world right now that are, aren't doing, are very concerned, I guess is what I would say. Okay. Early this morning or late last night, earthquake in western Nevada. What was it? A 5.7 magnitude earthquake east of Reno and Carson City, Nevada. 6:29 p.m. I guess that was yesterday evening, huh? The tremor happened 6:29 Pacific time. I guess that's like 9 o'clock Eastern time. About 12 miles southeast of Silver Springs, Nevada. Let's see, just a minor adjustment along a portion of a fault that slips from time to time. Gee, really? Yep. No biggie. Earth isn't going to fall apart today. Somebody asks, is the White House on drugs? Well, evidently the White House staff and the White House position have been hitting a lot of Xanexes and Mulafid, I think is that what it's called? White House Medical Unit during Trump's administration distributed controlled substances with scant oversight and sloppy record keeping. Oh, God. You would think Democrats would be standing in line saying, I need some drugs. The unit distributed Xanax's anti-anxiety medication. I guess that's why they're all calm and cool and collective. They're all zoned the fuck out. Well, if you get on the inside and you realize that the shekels run the deal, I guess you better start taking drugs or doing something. Which was popular among senior officials. Oh, yeah. And sometimes shared among colleagues in the distribution of prescription meds, often done without a specific need or diagnosis. I feel the need, the force. Yeah. Anyway, medical units procedures were so sloppy that it was impossible to prove that the sedatives and dissociatives like fentanyl and ketamine weren't given to White House staff. Damn, they're giving ketamine to the White House staff. I want to work on the White House staff. Hey, Don, we need to do the scientific experiment to the dimethyltryptamine, the look across the laser. Because look, if we can be the first nation to look across the grid. Oh my God, I am sorry, Rev Radio. I am just motor mouthing the hell out of it over here on channel. Sorry. I was sitting there muted for a couple minutes on Rev Radio. I'm sorry, guys. You missed a really good rant. You'll have to watch it. Go over and don't forget to subscribe and like all the videos that are out there on Rumble and on YouTube and on locals.com. Don't forget Facebook. Facebook, I don't know why, man. I never see anybody watch me on Facebook. It's like, God, really? Huh. You're not even a couple passerbys? Anyway, crazies, and more crazies. Yes, the druggies in the White House. Well, it's no different than when Joe Biden was in the White House. I mean, you had enemas and cocaine. I mean, the Biden White House was doing dope at both ends. You had a dope for a president, okay? I mean, brain dead Joe Biden. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, he was a real figurehead, okay? If there was a Manchurian candidate that couldn't function, that would be, this so-called body of Joe Biden. Remember, it's alleged that Joe Biden died years ago, and they're still playing the soon dead Joe Biden game. Yeah, don't forget Delaware, University of Delaware has said Doctor Who when it came to Dr. Joe Biden. Yes. Anyway, so there it is. Yep, so there it is. Chinese defied Trump's blockade of the Hormuz Straits, and I guess they pulled in and loaded up their oil and sailed through. The Navy's blockade of the vital trade route began yesterday. Trump looks to pressure Iran's brass to accept his nuclear demands. Remember, China and Pakistan have guaranteed a nuclear umbrella. I had talked about it before, and I said, well, I mean, that just makes complete, logical, strategic sense. Okay? If the West wants Iran naked, then Iran must have have a protector, have an umbrella, and that umbrella will include nuclear capabilities. Pakistan, is one of those. Now, don't forget, J.D. Vance made a comment. After he was done negotiating with, this is hilarious, with Iran, right? J.D. Vance, I guess he stopped in the UK or wherever in Europe, and J.D. Vance said, "Oh yeah," he says, we have to worry more about the UK because the British are essentially Muslim now, and that that's another Islamic country with nuclear warheads. Okay, yeah. Should the UK be stripped of their nuclear warheads because they've turned Islamic? Now I know that's a kind of a stretch, right? But hey, I mean, be honest about it. Okay, this is what I say. It's the hardest thing for countries and communities and everybody and individuals to look in the mirror or to look at what they have built or not built. God help me. He has been. To understand that maybe they're living in the bubble. Maybe they're living in the retardation nation. And maybe they're the part of that liberal hive construct that can't see through their own failures, their own faults, their own ideas, their own misconceptions. And besides, we want to kind of, cherry coat everything, I mean, so yeah, it's crazy. Mediators scrambled to put together another round of talks as the Chinese tanker U-turns and sails through the port, through the Hormuz Strait. So Iran mulls a Hormuz shipping pause to preserve talks to avoid a Trump blockade showdown. Every day that Iran resists is a successful day. Okay. Is and that is holding off the empire of the world. So yeah, Xi says global order crumbling into disarray as Trump turns up the pressure campaign on China. Remember, Trump said, "I looked him in the eye, and they won't invade Taiwan as long as I'm president. I looked him in the eye." These people are so fucking stupid, it ain't funny. Okay? Trump's 4.5 month crusade across the Western Hemisphere and now into the Middle East increasingly looks like a massive blitz to acquire or control energy assets, maritime choke points, as part of a broader economic pressure campaign against China. Duh! Which depends heavily on the Gulf, the Middle Eastern oil and Venezuelan crude. Choke point after choke point, the administration is methodically building a portfolio of assets that they're stacking up against China. And the Panama Canal was brought back to the U.S. when China had control of it. Okay? China had control pretty much of Venezuela. And that oil and stuff used to go to China. Now it doesn't. Karj Island, Iran's oil terminal, main pumping point, is DOA, dead on arrival with U.S. bombing. So, Trump is, this is something that everybody should know and understand, that Donald Trump is continuing the New World Order war across the planet, okay? Whether it's in Ukraine, because you have noticed, we haven't pulled back, or we haven't stopped sending, and we haven't, against, Ukraine. We still send the Euro trash a bunch of fucking money every month, okay? Anyway, it's the ratcheting up to war is what I'm calling it, okay? Before you go to war, you pull all the slack out of all of the ropes, out of everybody's strings. Everything is tense. Everything is taut. Everything is tight. And somewhere along the line, then it snaps. Okay? As I said the other day, the Russians are now have a standard procedure to literally escort their tankers out into the Atlantic Ocean. It will come a time not too long where those tankers will have to have convoys to get to, Cuba, for example, or get to Iran or China or wherever. That's all I'm saying. Venezuela. Okay? Somewhere along the line. And, it will not be just a temporary military escort. Okay? The Russians will literally have to convoy their military vessels the same way the U.S. used to convoy their military, our vessels with the convoys that used to take weapons to Europe. That shipping around the world, may have to go into packs for protection. That's all I'm trying to say is we're looking at an entire change of world of warfare and the world. Just as the Massachusetts wants to turn itself into a 15-minute shit city, okay? Never mind all the fucking communities that will die without the tourists, without the travel, without the people that go 30 minutes from home in a car. Oh my God, in 30 minutes, 25, 30 miles. Oh my God, you're already past two 15-minute shitties. It's idiocracy, it really is. But remember, they have to have the complete collapse for them to bring in their real plans. Okay, so yeah. Fearing Iranian escalation in the Red Sea, Saudis push Trump to call off the Hormuz blockade. Houthis could close a gate of tears, ratcheting up global economic disruptions again. That's right. They haven't shut them down, have they? How much have they bombed these guys? Really? It's crazy. Crazy. Uh-oh, there it is. The Texas Attorney General. Texas Attorney General is probing Lululemon. Oh, God. Are they probing them because, sometimes their crotch areas just aren't very thick? And, let's just say, lips are exposed? Oh, God. Listen, always wear underwear. Even if it's a G-string with that, little cup patch thing that they got. Okay? Just say it. No. Lululemon. That's right. Lululemon. Lululemon Authentica shares fell 4.5% this morning. trading after Texas Attorney General launched an investigation into whether the company, known for its leggings, misled consumers about potential forever chemicals in its apparel. Paxson's probe of Lululemon athletic apparel centers around leggings that contain PFASs, polyfluorinated alkaloid. God, I can't remember not right offhand. Or forever chemicals. Anyway, they can cause cancer. I mean, you know, I mean, how do you say it? Bad, Mitch. Bad, bad. Well, anyway. So, yeah. So, the Attorney General's office will review the company's restricted substances list, testing procedures, and supply chain practices to determine whether the products actually meet stated safety standards. Paxson said, "I will not allow any corporation to sell harmful, toxic materials to consumers at a premium price under the guise of wellness and sustainability." So, yeah. Wow. Who would have known? Anyway, let's see. In his recent actions, including probing WK Kellogg over artificial food colorings in Fruit Loops and pressuring food companies to remove synthetic dyes from cereal and other products. He also targeted toothpaste makers over fluoride. Well, that's good. Okay, fluoride is a neurotoxin. Don't scrub your teeth with that shit, please. I'm just saying, find an alternative that is fluoride free. The first humanoid robot. Oh, God, yeah, sure. Embodied intelligence with high-risk jobs. Enter service. Yeah, just talked about the poor dogs that are being robot dogs that are being run by Indian scammers. Or it won't be too long, those Indian scammers will be hijacking those robot dogs and saying, "I need to see your ID. Do you have a credit card? Pay $5 fine." I'm just saying. So evidently, the first humanoid robot with embodied intelligence. Embodied? That's a weird way to say it, huh? Anyway, it's this isn't just a fixed machine. It's a 198-pound robot that can climb walls and work anywhere humans can. Increasingly, the multi-purpose system is intended to replace human workers in hazardous conditions, such as a chemical storage tank construction. According to reports, the machine uses a magnetic chassis to stick to walls, allowing its humanoid upper body to operate on any metal surface. The robot could be used to execute core industrial tasks, including precision welding, rust removal, and routine inspections. Compared to earlier wall climbing robots were limited to a single repetitive function, this thing has multiple uses. According to CGTN, the physical agility is driven by a massive AI brain trained on 100,000 hours of data, enabling it to navigate complex environments with ease. Remember the other day, just yesterday, I talked about all the Chinese, the poor Indian workers that were sitting there with a camera on their head, Not so they could count how many people whatever's doing, so they could train AI to do the jobs of these workers. I don't know what these workers are going to do when they come in there with, with the robot, that replaces them, and the factory locks them out. I'm just saying. So there is a growing there's a growing body of evidence that many human jobs are, well, get yourself a really good hobby that you love, okay? I guess is what I would say. And always remember to shop human and not robot. Hey, it used to be just shop local, and then it's not, and then it's don't shop, don't shop online, shop local, and now it's essentially, shop human instead of robot. That's real live humans here, over here, real live humans. Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry, a conservative family of four, will eventually be put in a zoo because everything else looks, because they look crazy. And everything else, all the crazy world is, well, idiocracy had arrived, okay? 2 months ago, free speech defenders in Lucran Price and Graham Linehan testified before a House Judiciary Committee concerning the mass censorship operation run through an expanding big tech enclave in Dublin. There are 32,000 non-governmental organizations in Ireland receiving billions of dollars, that is B with the billions of dollars, in EU and US grants meant to help shape public opinion. It's a massive brainwashing program. Once Christian Ireland, now the constitutional protections for gay marriage, abortion, up to a baby's birth. 2 years ago, Ireland's globalist cabal nearly succeeded in removing all mentions of women from the national constitution. It is, listen, Europe is being invaded and it is being colonized. It's okay to tell the government, do not colonize us. Do not colonize us with third world motherfuckers that don't speak our language and don't share our values. I don't give a fuck what color they are. Myself, I don't. Who gives a fuck? I know idiots and I know good and bad people across the entire spectrum. My God, what the fuck is wrong with people? I don't know. Really not sure. Okay? So anyway, globalists call the will of the people populism, and the will of the bureaucrats democracy. But when enough people decide to fight back against the bureaucrats, the spirit of revolution hangs in the air. And let me tell you what, there is a lot of fucking hanging that is going to be taking place when all of this starts. And when it starts in one place, I'm just going to tell you right now. When it starts in earnest, this cultural, religious, civil war that the elite and the politicians have tried to bring into countries, and to overthrow the local populace. That's what essentially what has been happening and what has been done. When those battles start, that's when the power grabs will happen by the Muslims. That's just all I'm going to say. And it will force the bureaucrats to say no. But you'll have people like Sheikh Khan in London say no. You know, we're an independent country, blah blah blah. We're going to do whatever we want. And I you know, look, the British can't even pull together a couple fucking ships to send to the Middle East. Okay, the British government itself couldn't fight off an insurrection itself. The French government could not fight off an insurrection. Okay, a rebellion, a what? A Europe-wide Muslim rebellion. And the reason that these motherfucking chicken shit politicians have not had it yet is because they keep kneeling, they keep bowing, and they keep submitting. One day, soon, very, very soon, you will see when the Muslim community stand up to the governments and say, no, we are not French, we are not British, we are Islam. Let the war begin, and you will bow to us. Remember, all of this is essentially this planned invasion that is sponsored by Judaism and Zionism out of Europe, or I should say out of Israel, okay? And Europe, because of the Rothschilds based in their base, okay? But, you know, the truth is, you know, all this goes back to the Rothschild banksters. That's why, you know, they should be charged as a, you know, this international terrorist network. Oh, God. Oh, man, my left knee is not doing well. Having a lot of trouble with it right now. Well, there it is. In Great Britain, or the not so Great Britain, the Fiestas and the Ferraris are both stealing fuel. That's right. Whether it's rich or poor, they're now seeing a fuel theft, you know, different behavior. They used to have, you know, kids on motorbikes and stuff come up and steal, you know, a couple pounds of gas, you know, value wise. But now you have people pulling in with Ferraris and Mercedes, and they're stealing gas. So, yeah. The Labour-led British government is currently attempting to hollow out an ancient pillar of English constitutionalism, and that is a jury trial. The British Labour Party is preparing to bring in a new style of law, where if the charge has 3 years or less, that a judge will hear it, and you don't need a jury. No jury, no choice of a jury, no anything of a jury. Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? You know what it really is, right? I mean, let's be honest. You have to get rid of a jury trial, and you have to have, you know, this king of the court, so to speak, this judge. Why? Because that's how Sharia law is, okay? Sharia law, the ayam comes in and says, blah, 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 fuck you, die. I mean, in British law, British law is almost as retarded today as Islamic law anyway. I mean, when you know, there are British Sharia courts, right? I mean, you do know that, right? I mean, I'm just saying. All right. I forget what country it was in. I mean, a great example of fucking Islam. Some motherfucking clown kidnapped a young girl, raped her, groomed her, made her a Muslim, had children with her. And when she was finally found by her family, she had been kidnapped originally. A Sharia court said, no, she's got to stay with her husband, the kidnapper, rapist, motherfucker. No, he should die with a fucking spike in his heart or his head chopped off or something. You know, I know I catch a lot of shit for saying stuff like that, but that's just true. You know how the West was won? The West was won by wanted posters that said wanted, dead or alive. Okay? Period. End of story. They had a bounty out on the poor bastard, and, well, there you have it. Okay? So, yeah. It's crazy, crazy. I guess is what I would say. Okay? Where are we at today? Latest news, United CEO pitches Trump on American tie-up to build a highly competitive global carrier. The administration said it really cares about the issues that affect the consumer's pocketbook. So they want to build a massive airliner or airline. And they want the government to fund the bill so they can make all the money. I mean, pardon me, but how many times has the fucking airline industry gone fucking bankrupt? The airline industry isn't but it's money laundering, pure and fucking simple. Okay, you borrow billions from the government. You use that money for a number of years till you burn it all up, and then you start again. Sounds like the Victor Bupp economic model. My uncle, he's passed away. God bless him. He had this weird idea that you borrowed money for a business and you ran that business until it died, and then you borrowed more money to run the same business. I thought businesses were to make a profit, not to just subsist on, But he had a different idea, I guess. Yeah, pretty wacko, ain't it? Oh, man. What else we got going on here? Turkey brands Netanyahu, the Hitler of our time, and has said, hey, get ready because Turkey may take on Israel. Now, that would, you do realize Turkey is NATO. So if Israel attacks Turkey, Israel will be attacking a NATO country. And the question is, will that trigger an Article 5 response from NATO when it comes to Israel? I know that sounds like a weird, convoluted way for the UK. I don't know about the UK, but for most of Europe, that is consolidated. When they see the genocide that so many other people want to deny in the world. People don't want to believe that the fucking Jews are a bunch of genocidal apartheid maniacs like they are. They are. And, it's just a symptom of the uncivilized Middle East. Taiwan helium imports rapidly shift from Qatar to the United States of America. Imagine that. More oil, more gas, more this and more that sold by the USA because, well, yeah. Ohio woman facing 39 felony charges. That's right. After her eviction led to a standoff and shooting. Yeah. The Ohio woman facing dozens of felony charges told the cop when he came to evict her from her apartment or her house, she said, "I had a gun. Don't come in here." SWAT was deployed. Shots were exchanged. A drone. She shot down their drone. Ultimately, authorities said Besser surrendered to police, adding that no one was injured. But she's facing 32 felonious counts of assault, attempted murder, aggravated murder, 3 counts attempted, obstructing official business, inducing panic. Yeah. Really? Woman was just freaking the fuck out. Yeah, people do that. And so there you have it. Craziness, man. I am telling you. Where are we at here? Let me get up here to my bookmarks to where... Dang, I have to get rid of these pants or something, man. They have been crying. You know, it's like a woman getting her bra wire cutting. You know, when your balls get caught up in your shorts. Thomas Massey in Kentucky says, "Yeah, man, what do you think? I might run for governor. You think I'm just gonna sit back if they defeat me, or if I get out of if I'm not in Congress anymore? A run for governor may be in the future for Representative Thomas Massey from Kentucky, but only if he wins his May 19th primary Republican. The first step to his reelection, and then to the House. But if Massey loses, the 7-term representative says he expects that he will call it quits on working in government, stating he would consider the loss as a sign from God or the people, or both, that I should go back to the farm. Yeah, I wish a lot of other motherfuckers in Congress would understand that they live in a gerrymandered whatever section, whatever district, and they can never lose. I mean, they could run a fucking rapist in some of these Democrat districts, and they would win. In fact, in all honesty, I do believe in some places Democrats have run rapists, and they have won. So yeah. What else? The Congress returns from their recess. Oh God, yeah. Congress is always on recess. In all honesty, they're supposed to return to Capitol Hill this week with a long to-do list. The Department of Homeland Security remains in a partial shutdown. And the SAVE Act has yet to be even talked about or even, pulled with. So the question is, why? Why are we, essentially, looking at the SAVE Act, right? I mean, we haven't seen shit. And Congress is, number one priority. Hey, it's April. The fucking the federal government year runs in September. So it's 6 months in and they still haven't fully funded the government. The fucking retarded Democrats and the retarded Republicans playing you for the con and the circle jerk that they can get, okay? Just because 80% or 85% of Americans want somebody to show an ID to prove who they are, not just when they vote, but when they register to vote. Period. Big time. End of story. Democrats said no. If we do that, then we can't cheat. Really. They can't cheat. They believe that people are too fucking retarded to get an ID to vote. That's a pretty high, low standard to meet, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Democrats have always been basically so racist that they tell their constituents, "You're too fucking retarded to get an ID, so we don't want to have an ID." Um, the truth is, Democrats want to count illegal immigrants and legal immigrants in the U.S. Census, not permanent resident status, or how does that go? Temporary, permanent. I mean, really. There are people here that have been here for 10, 15, 20 fucking years, and they're still not a citizen, and they're still on temporary, permanent, whatever status. And I really don't think that was ever meant to be like their whole fucking life. Are these permanent, temporary status things, is that supposed to be like decades and decades and fucking decades? I mean, we have to ask, because we have so many fucking people that don't belong in the United States, but because it's the honeypot, because it's a place where you can make some money, because it's a place where we do have the freedoms that other places don't. And nobody is, I can't believe that Democrats haven't funded armies to go down into South America to make it safe for all of the poor people and the illegal immigrants and everybody else that they claim to be so worried about and want to protect and everything else. I'm just saying, if we were really going to fix these countries and stuff, we should have had a dozen fucking invasions going on in the last 5 years. I'm just saying. El Salvador is God bless them. El Salvador has compassion. They have more compassion than I do. I'm just telling you. All of those 20, 30, 60, 80, whatever thousands of people, the hardcore gang banging motherfuckers that they got up in prisons, I wouldn't be feeding them. I'm just saying, I wouldn't want to feed them. Desperados that have chosen death instead of life. That's what I see when I see those people. And that's fucked up. That's fucked up that I don't have the compassion for all that. But listen, I have the empathy, but I have a realization. What, you gonna let a bunch of gang banging, murdering motherfuckers out of prison? So they can gang bang, murder motherfuckers? We see that going on right now in America. And as I said, somewhere along the line, these motherfuckers are going to end up dead. All these people that have committed these heinous crimes, they're going to end up dead. Whether it's through the law of averages and they put themselves in the harm's way, so to speak, or where somebody says, well, it's time for you to go. The world is more peaceful without you. I'm just saying. I understand. I understand what a predator is and how they are. And I have empathy for everybody. I even have empathy for those predators. These human fucking predators. But I think my compassion has run out for them. And the truth is, you can't have peace if you're standing there in the middle of the war. You cannot have peace. And they will not allow you to have peace. So yeah. Our government knows exactly what it's doing to the American people. Federal court strikes down a 158-year-old law. That's right, a federal appeals court on April the 10th declared the 158-year-old ban on making liquor at home to be unconstitutional. That's right, ruling that the ban was unnecessary and improper means that Congress means for Congress to exercise its power to tax. Writing for a 3-judge panel in McNutt versus U.S. Department of Justice, Judith Edith Hollins Jones and the U.S. Court of Appeals in the Fifth Circuit Court found that the ban actually reduced tax revenue by preventing distilling in the first place, the opposite of its stated intent. The court ruled in favor of a nonprofit Hobby Distillers Association and 4 of its 1,300 members, who argued that people should be free to distill spirits at home, whether as a hobby or for personal consumption, including, for instance, to create an apple pie vodka recipe, one of the plaintiffs had created. The ban was part of a law passed during Reconstruction in July 1868. Hey, maybe we can overturn that law that they want to give every illegal immigrant or every motherfucker that drops a baby across U.S. airspace. Because I really believe that it applies not just to people's feet and asses that is on the ground. I do believe that people that are flying over the United States of America that give birth and then fly to the next country to land in an airport, that baby is American, according to liberals. I think they're just plain retarded. Under federal law, distilling in one's home or backyard could result in a $10,000 fine and a 5-year prison sentence. It's none ya fucking business, Mr. Government, if I'm making liquor or not. Now, if I'm selling it, okay, I'll give you, you might have a little bite in that apple then, okay? I mean, you might have a little itch in the game, okay? You might have a little something to scratch there if you were selling the liquor. But if you're not selling the liquor, if you're giving it away, then I don't care. That's fine too. But if you're making income, I understand where the government wants some of your ass, okay? I'm just saying. But anyway, so yeah, it has been like that way. Beer has been able to home brew since 1978 in a federal legal sense. However, liquor is not. Bring out the moonshine! Bring out your moonshine! That's what I had to say about it. Yeah. Anyway, hey, here's one person that finally that has said, I'm sorry.
These are my big issues.
I'm sorry, okay? Confession, former Cleveland Clinic medical director, Dr. Daniel Needs, breaks down in tears, apologizes to all of the vaccinated individuals, says, I didn't know what the fuck they put in that shit. That's essentially, paraphrasing. That's what the doctor said. But, yeah, it's seriously fucked up. Hey, here's what the doctor actually said.
Issues regarding vaccines, and these are the things that I'd like to highlight. Number one, there is no education in medical schools that I am aware of, and being an educator at the Cleveland Clinic Learner College of Medicine and Case Western Reserve University. I am not aware of education around vaccines, their contents, safety records, informed consent, or the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. We do not discuss that in 1986, Congress enacted legislation removing all liability from pharma related to vaccine adverse events. What are we taught about vaccines? We are.
Come on, get to the point. Get to the point where you say, look, I know they never told me they put ammonia in it. They never told me they put aluminum in it. They never told me they put the toxins in it. I thought it was just safe. Applied idiocracy. Applied stupidity. Because someone says here, they believe that it's, well, safe. Yeah. Anyway, it's idiocracy. Meanwhile, property taxes in the United States rose an average of 3%, which is actually higher than the rate of inflation. The truth is, property taxes are when the problem is local governments are so dependent upon them they can't get away from them. The other problem is that the banksters have literally managed to drive the price of houses up to subsidize communities. Now you have high real estate taxes and low service. They just did that flip-flop the other year here in Franklin County, Virginia, where they had a high rate and they flip-flopped the value and the rate. They had they did a revaluation of all the properties in the county, and it's bizarre. Now not here, but down like in Greensboro, North Carolina and stuff. These motherfuckers are actually giving a double wide mobile home is worth near $500,000. It's not sustainable for people to pay. I mean, even poor trailer trash people that might have a nice new double wide. And they only sell for 150 grand or less. Whew, I know, that's expensive. Well, anyway, it's a wacko world. Hey, don't forget tonight, 8 to 10 p.m., those Trump assassination files. Well, they'll be here. And just stand on by because we're going to isolate Donald Trump into a little box. And we're going to talk about his performance, his lack of ability to control his administration, and his lack of ability to understand that he is being used. So take care, Revolution Radio. Let me get over here. Breaks going on Rev Radio. We'll see you tonight, 8 to 10 p.m. God bless you guys. So, yeah, it's coming. It's going to be here. And people have lost their fucking minds. Remember what Dr. Jim Willey said. Okay, what Dr. Jim Willey said. And he was talking about what? The great resets. Not one, not two, but I think he counted 3. He said the first time you're going to lose, look, they can't take 150% of your purchasing power away all at once. They can't have 150% spike in prices all at once, or the devaluation of your dollar all at once. They have to happen in at most 50% increments. But you have waves of it. Waves of devaluation. Waves of what? Waves of price spikes. and you have literally a destroyed economy. Because, just like in the 1970s, the economy depends on what? Cheap fuel. Our economy, their economy, the world economy. And that is essentially because, the profit margins of everything are so thin. People are begging for, a 3% guaranteed 3% profit, and that's not even guaranteed today. So yeah. So get ready. It's a coming. It's a here. And the war is on. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tonight for the Trump assassination files. God bless. Good day. And good luck.